Good day, ladies and gentlemen of the Global Trainer Syndicate. My name is Mark, aka HouseOfWolves100, and today I've got for you an NU game against Neeko. Firstly, I'd like to apologise because this was a game I got on black before my transition onto white 2. Hopefully that does make a difference, but if it does then I'm very sorry. Just a little bit about me, as I know most of you will never have heard of me. I mainly play the lower tiers, and of that mainly PU and NU. I also like to mix it up a lot, use a lot of different pokes, varied sets. So, looking at the teams here, I've got a bulky mono-attacking Restork Armaldo, a Sunny Day 3 attacks Expert Belt Charizard, a Choice Band Iron Fist Monferno, Choice Specs Tangler, and then the Hippo Cool Defensive Core, who cover each other's weakness as well, barring the special ground hits, but Tangler can cover that frailty up. On my opponent's side, the big threats are going to be the Rotom Fan, who can hit all but Armaldo and Hippopotas for super effective damage, and if it is Scarf then it will outspeed my team. Also, if the Seismitoad is one of the Rain Dance Swift Swim Sweepers, not only will it outspeed my team, but its coverage hits my whole team for weaknesses, so that could be a huge problem. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. First turn here, I figured he'd probably lead with a Butterfree just to fire off a Sleep Powder. However, if he also wanted to lead with Swellow or Rotom to get some Volt Turn action going, Armaldo is going to be a good check to those things, both to take a hit and also to threaten him out with the Rock Blast. So as predicted, he does go straight for that Sleep Powder, which just enables me to go straight for the Sleep Talk. Unfortunately though, I do get the Curse. However, it is some good news because he will force the switch, as he knows Butterfree isn't safe to stay in and go for the Quiver Dances, because I can just keep going for this Sleep Talk. So he does switch out into the Seismitoad, and the way he brought it in on an Armaldo that was setting up defense boost led me to believe that he would be an offensive, especially offensive Seismitoad. So I switched to Tentacle to take the Hydro Pump, but he does make a good play and goes for the Stealth Rocks, which is also some good news for me, as he's a defensive set and not an offensive build. Now, I do make a questionable move here in going for the knockoff. I should have gone for Rapid Spin with having 2 pokes weak to Stealth Rock, however, I wasn't fully expecting the EQ there. Most of the defensive Seismitoads I see, they are Toxic, Stealth Rock, Scald, and then Earth Power or Knockoff. And I know that Tentacle can take 2 or 3 Earth Powers from a defensive Seismitoad. Actually, to be honest, the best play there would have been just to switch straight out into Tangler, which I do now, and I can just go straight for that Choice Specs Leaf Storm, which is just raw power. It does about 40% to Butterfree, who quad resist grass moves. So I do now have checked for Butterfree in the form of Armaldo, as he does once again go for the Sleep Powder, which means he cannot put something else on my team to sleep, which is excellent news. So he knows that I have the Sleep Talk, and he will switch out more than likely back into Seismitoad, so I can make that double switch back out into Tangler, who not only threatens Seismitoad, but completely walls its attacks now that it is a defensive build. Last time he went into Butterfree in the Leaf Storm, so he'll more than likely do it again. So I can catch it on the switch with the Ancient Power, and the Kraken claims its first victim.
And let this day be cursed by we who are ready to wake the Kraken.
Sorry about that, I was going on Dead Man's Chest right there. Anyway, back into this, so the Ancient Power absolutely annihilates that Butterfree, and he brings Swellow in just to threaten me out with the Brave Bird, but I do have a reliable check for Swellow in the form of Hippopotas, as my opponent does make the better play and just use hitting straight out of there, and getting some switch initiative. Now, he won't go for the Waterfall here with the Dragonair because I will probably switch to Tangler to take that, and he knows that, so he just goes for the Dragon Dance on that expected switch. So I can just slack off back to full, and now that I am at full, I can live any single hit, even at +1. His strongest hit after stab is the Outrage, which would only do at max 49.41% to Hippopotas, if I've correctly guessed his EVs of course. Here he goes for the DD again, I presume that's because he's not really aware of Hippopotas sets, and I do get the Whirlwind, forcing him out there and negating those stat changes. So at full, I can definitely live a Scald and just go for the Stealth Rocks, and this was very 50-50 for me. On the one hand, Stealth Rocks are going to be useful to wear down Swellow, Rotom and Ursaring. On the other hand, Hippopotas does wall Ursaring and Swellow very well. In the end, I decided Stealth Rocks would be the optimal play, just because I still have Armaldo who can take hits from both of them, although not quite as well. So I save Hippopotas here, he may be useful even as a Death Fodder, and just go back out into Tangler. And I thought he might predict another Ancient Power, and I just went for the Leaf Storm. In the end, Leaf Storm is still a fairly safe play now that the quad resistor in Butterfree is gone. And you can see there that does a really solid chunk to the Rotom, almost 50% on a resisted hit. So I can now just Death Fodder Hippopotas. Fans are the leading cause of death in Hippos, just so that I can switch out into Charizard and outspeed it, seeing as there isn't a choice set. So, in comes Dragonair once again, and just on the off chance he wanted to go for the Outrage, I couldn't switch directly into Tangler, just because Tangler, as you'll see in a second, you won't be able to take 2 Outrages, and I do need Tangler just to try and take out the Seismitoad, because nothing else on my team can really stop that thing now. So here, I can just fire off that Choice Specs Sludge Bomb after living the Outrage, and this does more than max damage if he was a max HP, max special defensive Highlight build, so I don't know whereabouts that hit might have been on a min-max scale, but it doesn't really matter because I do get a 30% poison chance, which will finish him off. And in comes the Ursaring here, and once again I switch out to preserve Tangler and just to get Regenerator recovery, but also because Armaldo can live a couple of hits, as you can see here, the Close Combat and the Facade, and luckily I do score the 33% Rock Blast chance with Sleep Talk, land the 3 hits putting him at easy revenge killing range. I am now down to my last 2 in Monferno and Tangler, who are both weak to the Brave Bird, and I will have to lock myself onto the Mach Punch with Monferno just in order to outspeed Ursaring and Swellow. And this is a Choice Band stab Iron Fist, Adamant and Mach Punch, which combined with Stealth Rock's damage here, that does huge damage to Swallow, which means that Brave Bird Recoil will finish him off. And we're both down to our last pokes here, and unfortunately there is very little Toad can do to the King of the Pond, the Land Kraken, so that will be a good game. So thank you very much, Neeko. I'm not sure if I had a channel, there were a lot of Neekos when I searched in on YouTube, but if you're watching this, just comment and they'll put it in the description. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed that. Go check out my opponent's channel, swing by my channel, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.